vast majority of data. I gave an example that banks, they use fraud detection system. How they are detecting the fraud, it all depends, it is all present in the data, and it depends on AI to connect those nodes and give us the scenario, give us the fact that fraud can be done, or something like that, it can be detected use that. So IBM Watson was the major player here, which connects all these nodes, which find patterns within the data and give us the results. If we have assessed, we have find out what the things has been done or how it could be done, then it comes next is the inferring. How AI system, they draw conclusions. For example, search engines, they are suggesting. मतलब आज की डेट में I suppose all of us has become a doctors. हमें जब भी कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होती है, कोई भी symptoms होती है, we go to Google, we put in our symptoms कि ये हो रहा है, पेट दर्द हो रहा है, सिर दर्द हो रहा है, या I'm feeling like this, and then we look for कि what can be the possible disease which we have, इसकी क्या remedies हो सकती हैं, and all that type of things. So that is an example of, you can consider that AI is assessing with the technology. It plays here a statement to suppose ChatGPT or any AI tool that I have spilled coffee on my laptop and now it is acting funny. What do you think the chatbot or the ChatGPT would respond? My laptop has been corrupted or it has been destroyed and it needs to ठीक कराना पड़ेगा उसको corresponding. It may possible कि जो आपकी generative AI is that you can clean your laptop or something like that. It has even spilled my coffee over it. Though it lacks common sense. Again, if I talk about creativity, we have Midjourney and other type of tools which are generating images. But कभी if you have considered कि आपने कोई उसको image generate करने के लिए कहा है, which can be related to your lectures also, related to your deep learning or neural network or some other architecture design you want to ask to Midjourney to generate it to encoders, etc. and all that type of thing, but never I got that particular image generated by the AI because AI is totally depending on the patterns or the previous data which we have submitted to that particular tool. तो उसी के basis पे उसी pattern को analyze करते हुए it generates the images. And if we ask it to generate some out of the box image, I don't think it will help. If we consider a certain scenario, maximum times the data which is being provided to AI, it contains bias. For example, it may be biased towards certain color of the skin of the people, or it may possible that maximum times it was being considered that persons at the top would be men. तो उसी type का data अगर इसको provide किया जाएगा, तो उसी के corresponding it will give us the results. So it is biased. It has those limitations with us. Similarly, we have decision-making limitations also. Consider a scenario. Suppose we have number of years to have उस criteria को meet नहीं कर रहा होगा. Then it may possible AI could not select that particular person, and we may lose the opportunity of selecting a very good candidate because of the conditions which are being specified by us to the AI. So that is here the decision-making capability is totally based on the conditions which are provided by the humans, and it itself, अगर एक human sorter होगा, HR person, in person, वो उसको sort कर रहा होगा, तो he can identify that that particular person is more suitable as compared to other people. Similarly, we have boundaries of machine learning, what they can do based on data only, जो भी उसको data provide किया गया, उसी के corresponding, it can predict, it can work, and if it is certain outside the boundaries, it cannot predict. For example, अगर आपको हम consider करें कि stock market में जो ups and downs होते हैं, there are various tools which are provided today. जो लोग stock market में invest करते होंगे, they must be using those tools. कि what would be the market next day or day after next on the basis of that, they must be making decisions in which stock to invest and other such type of things. But can any of these tools can predict about जैसे 9/11 अटैक हुआ था जिसकी वजह से then stock market crashes, then came the COVID-19 pandemic. कोई भी tools इस तरह के predictions नहीं कर सकता था, नहीं कर सकता है. So these are the certain things which are the limitations of machine learning जो data में influence, data में incorporate नहीं की जा सकती है और वो उसका फर्दर एक लिमिटेशन बना देती है. Then we have ethical considerations. What if AI makes the mistake? एक autonomous car है, it is running on the road and it met with an accident injuring a pedestrian. Who would be responsible? Car manufacturer or the person who developed the algorithm or the owner of the car? Where the liability is going to lie if such type of accident happens? So we need to make the framework for considering these ethics, for considering who need to be held responsible. What are the decision-making things, steps which an algorithm takes while taking any such type of decisions? So such frameworks, they need to be incorporated, which they need to be made available to the public for considering all these things. So understanding these limitations, I'm not saying that it would diminish the AI potential, but rather I would say they are here to set certain realistic expectations, and we need to work to address these challenges as the technology evolves. Now we will be discussing about different types of artificial intelligence.
So we have three major types of intelligence are being there. One is narrow, that is narrow AI. Second one is general AI, Gen AI, and the last one is super AI. The first two exist right now. The last one is a theoretical kind of thing. It does not exist, or it might exist some year later. So if we talk about the capabilities of narrow AI, they have limited amount of capabilities are being there. So they can perform their functions to a certain extent. They cannot do each and everything. That is why the name is a narrow AI. I cannot go beyond that. For example, I can drop a service request over there, I can do that. I can register. Or I can ask the customer service person to call me. Or I can generate a query, or I can log in. So there are limited number of capabilities are being there when we are talking about a weak AI or a narrow AI. They are not general in nature. They cannot take any number of things into the input. They have defined inputs are being there. Depending on the input, they convey to the professional, they convey to the company, and they take appropriate decisions. So one example which I see I can relate to weak AI or narrow AI. Second one is a finance application. So you can see, otherwise this application will not be accessible to the WhatsApp because it is again encrypted, right? So that is why I use Google Meet. So I have just to type again one keyword. Most of the keyword are hello. As the conversation begins with hello. So if I write hello, it will just greet me with my name and offer the type of services they can offer. So the limited number of capabilities are being there. Suppose I can set the limit for merchant POS to a certain amount. So I can enter an amount which is 20,000. So it will ask me with the OTP. Authentication is being required. So OTP is being required. I will go enter the OTP and things will be done. So if we talk about narrow AI, they have. So that is all about narrow AI, and then we have this one. General AI is being there. If you want to compare narrow AI with general AI. General AI are more using towards machine learning and deep learning algorithm rather than narrow AI which is using only machine learning and algorithms. They are more complex in nature and they have limited domain. If you talk about narrow AI, and in case of general AI, they have broader areas are being there, and they have in terms of privacy and security ethical consideration are also there. And they can develop thinking of its own. So right now it's not there, it is theoretical. They might exist in near future also. So we have human-like capabilities of super AI will be consciousness, belief, desire, cognition, emotional intelligence, subjective experience, and behavioral intelligence. So whatever the capabilities, whatever the characteristics of humans, they all have the same kind of, similar kind of capabilities are there.
high, low, middle, yeah, XL, small, large, and so. That is again in a non-mathematical, non-numerical form. We still have to think about in the terms of mathematical data. So all artificial algorithms would be working on data which is mathematical. So whatever data that you have, it would be converted into some form which is easily convertible to mathematical operation, or which is amenable to mathematical operation. The process is called vectorization. Whether we have text, we vectorize it. Whether we have images, we vectorize it. Whether we have numbers, we vectorize it. That is one concept that we need to understand. Secondly, we also spoke briefly about narrow AI. Narrow AI was previously defined as one type which could do something, only one type of job. Good. We jump to general AI or artificial general intelligence, AGI as we speak of. AGI says that it should be able to do everything which a human intellectual can do in AGI. Past few months, rather past few years, there is a middle term also that called broad AI or wide AI. That broad or wide AI is going into something like why it came, because in a conference somebody asked that you talk about a Tesla. Tesla is a car which would be based on AI. It predicts, it calculates distances, it sees, because it is having computer vision capabilities also, it has to see people, it has to calculate the distance, it has to take decisions, it has to learn by the reward system also. So it goes about into reinforcement, it goes about into predictive, it goes about into all kinds of AI. So ideally, is it artificial general intelligence? Because it's not doing only one type of task, it is doing multiple type of AI tasks together into one. So that's why people coin another term that we call as broad AI or wide AI. And AI would be able to do multiple tasks, but it is still not there at the level of artificial general intelligence. So these two things we will add in our
showing the relationship between data quality and model performance. Here the data quality is in the term of percentages and model performance has been normalized from 0 to 1. As you can easily see here, as the quality of data improves, the model performance also improves. High quality data, it leads to models that generalize well, predicts well, while the poor quality data, it creates models with limited utility or harmful outputs. It happens in our mind कि आप तो मॉडल मेरा अच्छे से काम कर रहा है, but काम अपना मॉडल is not working properly. It's very possible that data which we are providing to the model, it contains the correct, exact values corresponding to that particular task which it is predicted correctly, but may not be correct data has been provided to the model to predict the other class. For example, cat or dog identification here. Cat की images, we have provided so many images of the cats to the model. But when dog images are, when we talk about it, only 3-4 images are provided, or some dogs they are mislabeled as cat, then it will not give you the correct results, correct identification for the dog. So it all correctly represents to the data. Again, as we talked previously, bias etc. in their reflection data, then model also gives us the bad decisions or bad calculations on the basis of which it may possible we are taking the decisions. So we need to check, we need to correct the data which we are providing to the AI. So action to take or it's a bad action to take. So that is what is reinforcement learning is. Depending on the action, feedback is provided to it and the different states of the agent are being considered. So these are the different types of machine learning which is the base of all the artificial intelligence which we are working today and working today. A small demo is there of the digital machine which people are taking through it. Then we will be discussing about deep learning and generative AI.
This is one trial session was done. We are right now at the second trial. You people have been chosen by the departments to own departments on the basis of your knowledge or interest or some previous participation in some program. ये सब देख के directors have recommended your names. In the sense, it has to be very interactive, so that they will get the feedback in the way we expected. Because the people coming from an industry or any small HR or any XYZ may not be knowing anything, because you being a faculty, you definitely you got an opportunity to go somewhere for a FDP and all that, learn something. Your part is different. That is why you have been chosen to give a feedback, to ask a question. It is not that they are teaching something which you don't know. Only you know something about it. People from CSC are there, IT are there. But in what way I need to interact? Because because being a first class, first session, I have to make it very clear. Your feedback, your involvement is very important. That I am not seeing on the faces. Again, after 6-7 sessions, we conclude that the quality is not good, the presentation was incomplete. No, I don't want that kind of complaints. Whatever right decision or correct feedback should come in the class itself. If you really understood, you would tell, or else, no madam, I don't understand.
And role. Part of the thing is that the presentation team has got 6, maybe 10 at the max, 10 people. But last phase is the capstone project that we are going to announce that you can take up a problem statement of your own choice, apply what you have learned to that problem statement. So we requested that can we have a pool of people who know as much as the presenters do, because every presenter has a challenge that they are working on one part of it. I am working on the LLM part of it. Third day somebody would be working on the images part of it. Fourth day there would be somebody who works on the HR and management domain part of it. So none of the presenters is working across all 5 verticals that we have planned. But for this set, we are expecting that to be our elite superset who are going to be working across all 5 domains. They understand. They'll be able to help out 1 or 2 mentees. We are not going to assign you more than that. Even if there are 100 people who participate, you will have 2 people who would be required to help them complete their capstone project. They may have queries, they may have some problems where they get stuck. So the idea is that all of you learn, and then we can assign you based on your, maybe there is a person who is working in the electrical domain, so we can assign them to electrical faculty. Maybe somebody who is working in management, we can assign them to the management faculty. So your task is just simply get through all the tools, use them, practice maybe at home also, and then mentor people when required. There is another thing that some of you will feel like it's a punishment. Initially, when I started working with Lead through AI, their generators, it was a punishment, definitely. Now it feels like you bring up a task, I become so lazy, I find some shortcut to do it super fast, including enemy. So whatever task that I get, I post complete data that I have, which I might be asked as a faculty on notebook LM. Somebody asked, this is needed. Yeah, for my books, if I have to create an image which matches the text which we have to add in our book, पहले ड्रॉ करना पड़ता था draw.io पे, अब डायग्राम बनाना था फ्लो चार्ट के लिए napkin.ai, create the diagram, put it. And recently I've seen some 7 or 8 research papers where napkin.ai के flow chart डाले हुए. Nobody bothers. Image is high resolution, सारा स्ट्रक्चर भी आ रहा है, आपको एक आधा पॉइंट ऊपर नीचे करना है, परफेक्टली चलता है. So you will realize over the time that this is a very productive way to spend your time. This was just 5 weeks. So today we should have had tea and samosa. It's his fault. इसको भी अगर पता करना है कि कौन सा ये भूल गया है वाटर रिलेशन. बाहर निकल के कंबल तैयार है तुम्हारा. हाँ डबल हो जाएगा. अगली बार दो. So anyhow, that is the idea.
ठीक है.
Everybody to several of you have got a very high technical knowledge about AI. That was the way you have been recommended. That your department head, director ma'am, principal sir, the other directors, when they sat together, they said we've got a set of people who are well versed with artificial intelligence to that extent that they can code. Perfectly fine. We do not want your coding skills throughout this workshop. We would not require your coding skills even beyond this workshop. When you are going to mentor somebody, they would be most likely absolutely non-technical. They would simply require to be able to use the tools which we are telling. So that is one thing which you can also do. So some of you have that speculation that we do not know how to code, why are we stuck with this program? Even that is not a constraint. We are making sure that the complete program from first day to the last, you do not have to write one single line of code anywhere. And you will still be able to apply it in your own domain also. So that is the idea, that if you can learn how to apply, you would be able to learn how to teach to the machine.
.com, and that is the app of Google. So we just have to get started with this application, and it is offering us 3 different types of projects. Your project may be an image type, you may have audio projects, or you may have another kind of project which will include images, like we will be using images to train and then to test them out. As there are 2 aspects of supervised machine learning algorithm, which is training and testing. So we will be having images depending on the categories, and we will be training the system. So we will be using standard image model. So this UI talks about 2 different type of classes, or you can have another class, add a class. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, and number of classes can be there, but we should have appropriate data according to the class. We can upload the images, or we can use a webcam. So we can use live images also, or you can upload the images. Finally, as you can see, the model is based on the 2 different type of, minimum is the 2 different type of classes are being there, and then it merges to the training, and finally the outcome is being there, result is being there, or we can say preview or export the model. The model will be exported, or we can get the code for the model also. So we will be using 2 different type of classes. So let us have 2 different types of classes or categories are being there. Earlier it has been said we will be using dogs and cat examples are being there. So we are going to label it as dog. Another is
Crack material or crack material, give it a lot of examples and it could learn from that.
we are importing the images, 11 form of images are being there, and the images are being embedded into the system. So we are training the system with these kind of images. So Similarly, we have another label or another category is being there. Again, we have to either upload or we can import from the Google Drive, which is on the basis of it is being tested through. So we have wide variety of images are there. We can add another class also, and we can do likewise. So this is one of the widely used application where we can see how the model is being trained and how the model is being tested, and finally we can export the model also. Your application, be it business application, be it any domain related application which is HR, marketing or any other application, you can use your model accordingly. The model is being trained. This is all about teachable machine and it is all about supervised learning. I think Jagana will take us.
Again, the deep neural network also they are being trained on the data which are being provided with different types of labels. We compare the predicted label with the correct label and will correct itself using those data. इसमें कितना difference है, कितना error है उसके basis पे it will correct itself. So deep neural networks they work just like the human brains. Now how this deep learning is different from machine learning. As I put an image here, you people can tell what is the major difference between both the images here, machine learning and deep learning. Feature extraction is the major difference that lies between machine learning and deep learning. In the case of machine learning, we need to manually specify or we need to manually program into the algorithm how to extract the features or what features need to be considered so that algorithm or the model can work on it. Whereas the deep learning algorithms, they are programmed just like that, they automatically would extract the features from that particular data and we do not need to manually specify those features. That is a major difference between machine learning and deep learning. But because deep learning extract features automatically, we need to provide lots and lots and lots of data via deep learning model so that it can automatically recognize the patterns, automatically extract the features from that particular data and then work upon it. So the major difference machine learning, deep learning, so you need lots of data and you need lot of computational power to which can work on those particular type of data. So the difference here lies like this only. In feature extraction, it is a manual process. It works with machine learning. In deep learning, this phase has been removed and it has been incorporated into the model itself, which will again then retrieve the data from it. So next we have generative AI. Generative, as the name indicates, which can generate, which can create something. But as I told you at the time of when we were discussing about the limitations of AI, that it always generates what it has already been fed with it. It will not create something new which it never know about it. For example, I want to generate an image. For example, I would say I want to generate an image of a cat in a soldier uniform. With the lots and lots of images of cat also, lots and lots of images of soldiers also. It will extract the pattern from the data. What can be the basic or key characteristics of the cat? क्या उसके facial पे होते हैं, वो फर होता है, उसकी shape भी और उसके जो फॉर्म्स होते हैं वो किस तरह से होते हैं. Then it has also been fed with a lot of images of soldiers, the uniform, the cap, the stretcher. It will extract those patterns from the cap images, extract those patterns from the soldier images, combine them, and then create the image of a cat in the uniform, the soldier uniform. This is how generative AI is work. It will not create altogether something new. It will not create that. It will simply create on the basis of data which has been fed into it, the basis of patterns it will extract from it. So generative AI always creates or it will create a new content. It can be images, it can be text, or it can be music also. Composition or text generation, that is a different examples, and it is widely used in various industries, for example, entertainment, design, marketing. But the major concern is that we need to consider the ethical considerations here also. For example, debates or misinformation. ChatGPT, when you are using ChatGPT or other such type of tools, you will find a statement there. Please verify the information which has been generated. It is not always possible that it will give you the right information or right context. You need to, it liability lies on you to check whether it is correct or not. Previously, these days, so many videos, they are being circulated that someone has said this thing and those things, and if you check it out, it has been generated using those generative AI tools, and they all are fake. And no such type of video or the person has passed those comment or said anything about the type of thing like that. So that is what is generative AI is. Yeah.
Sometimes बोला थोड़ा सा डाउट हो तो
Yes, sir.
डाउट there is something like whatever ChatGPT there is a recent generative like by this that is growth. So what is the fundamental difference technically between these two? Because the output level of that growth is much more different and broader than this.
No pure set. Actually, I haven't heard about that particular tool you are talking about.
Growth, G-R-O-K.
Sir, basic difference, I haven't worked with growth, so I couldn't comment on that particular. लेकिन जैसे कुछ होता है, जैसे ChatGPT it is using the database till 2023 टाइप, जबकि ChatGPT जो है वो Google searches वगैरह यूज करके उसको corresponding output generate करता है और usage जो है वो compose कर सकते हो using on the basis of that particular thing कोई आपको different compositions पेंडिंग हो गया उसके corresponding आपको So we have discussed about the terms like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, intelligent generative AI. Here I have certain questions which I want to ask you people in which particular category this particular application lies. Again, वैसे तो ये slide of quiz था, but because of the network issue, I'm directly running it. So, an AI model is trained to identify. I myself gave this example also that categorizing an email from spam and not spam. This particular comes under the category of supervised learning. Next is an e-commerce company. It uses AI to group customers into segments based on their shopping habits without predefined labels. Unsupervised learning, because we are not providing any labels or we are not labeling that this particular belongs to this category or this particular, then it comes under the category of unsupervised learning. Next, a marketing team. It uses an AI tool to generate original promotional images based on a text description like a happy family shopping at a mall. Generative AI. Because it is generating certain images based on what is already been happening there and using that for the promotion. So this answers your answer. Come on, sir. This answers your question also that how marketing teams are using the generative AI for promotions and for advertisements. In based on their performance. Reinforcement learning, उसके corresponding क्या difficulty level था, it is adjusting the test so that students can perform well. A retail company uses AI to group stores into high-performing, average-performing, and low-performing clusters based on sales data without unsupervised learning because it is doing the clustering and it is distribution without the links. A music composer uses AI to create a unique background score for a short film based on a specific generated. An airline uses AI to adjust ticket prices based on factors like demand, type of booking, and competitor pricing. The system learns from the historical sales data and adjusts pricing. In case of combination of supervised and reinforcement also, those corresponding it is providing, it is demanding the price. You can say that it is predictive AI also, which is predicted on the basis of other types of things. A robotic surgery system learns from past procedures, receiving feedback on surgical precision and patient outcomes and improving its performance over time. Reinforcement. Feedback and reward. So these were the different types of algorithms which we are learning, and on these algorithms there is another field that is LLM. In the next session, Sachin sir is going to discuss about the LLMs, what LLM is, what is the history and all that. First, just to give you a brief, again, LLMs, they are trained on massive amounts of text and code. They can understand and generate human languages. LLM's main focus is the human text, human language which we speak, which we write. For example, ChatGPT and Gemini, etc. And they use complex network architectures to build up, to generate the text. It learns from vast amounts of data and it generates coherent and contextually relevant text. Again, how LLMs work? First of all, and this working of LLMs is very similar to other types of artificial intelligence algorithms also. But generally they do, they first tokenize the data. By tokenization we mean it will break the data into small parts. For example, our text is a sentence which has been provided to the model. That sentence will be broken down into different words, and we can say that it is a tokenization step. After the tokenization, we need to convert the tokens into digital data or the numerical data, which is, जैसे सबने कहा vectorization करते हैं. Vectorization के corresponding we have different techniques. For example, on-code encoding होता है, embedding होती है. Embedding is very popular method which is used for converting those tokens into digital data. We have various types of embeddings available, code to paper, fast text है, and other type of embeddings are there which can be used to convert those data into the digital data. After embeddings, when the algorithm is applied to it, it will be predicting the next word in the sequence depending on the pattern it has generated, it has derived from the previous data. It is an iterative process. You can generate the text again and again. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हमने 3 words लिखे उसके बाद 4th word generate होते हैं 5th वाला नहीं होगा. So it's an iterative process which continues and it generates the new text again and again. So LLMs learn and reproduce using the statistical patterns, and they do not truly understand meaning in the human sense. They just understand the patterns are there, and on the basis of that you can generate the text. So there just finishes my content here. We have different types of AI. If anyone would like to sum up it, anyone would like to tell what are the different topics which we have discussed today, starting from AI, its different types, limitations, the history of AI, Then we have basic terminologies about the data, types of data,
History, types of history.
history of data, application. So if anyone would like to ask any question or close flow करना.
Big clap for Sarita ma'am. Thank you all for your participation. Now we are coming to the end of this session. So now we will be floating a feedback form and a quiz. Both are mandatory requirements. तो आपको दोनों fill करनी है. अभी मैम ने आपसे input मांगी है कि what terms we have discussed. We can play a small game here. आपको करना क्या है? कोई भी एक टर्म जो आपको याद हो पूरे सेशन में जो भी आपने किया है वो आपको चैट विंडो में ग्रुप में लिखनी है. बट मेक श्योर जो आप लिख रहे हैं वो पहले किसी ने ना लिखी. गॉट इट? अगर आप रिपीट करते हैं सो यू लूज द गेम. बट अगर आप रिपीट नहीं कर रहे हैं और टर्म वो सेशन की है यू विन द गेम. राइट? चैट विंडो में वो ग्रुप है ना, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप जो है कैट पाई का जो ग्रुप है वो सरप्राइज है. आपके मैसेज आते रहेंगे, फिर आई प्रोसेस इट. मैं देखूंगा कौन जीता कौन हारा. राइट? वो रहेगा. डोंट वरी, यू विल नॉट बी डिसअपॉइंटेड बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस कोर्स. इस पूरे कोर्स के खत्म होने के बाद यू विल बी हाईली सेटिस्फाइड. दैट आई एम क्वाइट श्योर ऑफ. राइट? फीडबैक फॉर्म आ चुका है, ग्रुप में पोस्ट कर देंगे. सो आप प्लीज जितना जल्दी पोस्ट करेंगे टर्म उतना बेटर है. बट मेक श्योर यू आर नॉट रिपीटिंग द टर्म. क्योंकि अगर आपकी टर्म रिपीट हुई दैट आई चेक तो आपको पॉइंट्स डेटा हो जाएंगे. बस एक बार एक टर्म लिखनी है आपको. एटलीस्ट वन टर्म. जिसकी टर्म नहीं होगी वो 0 पॉइंट.